and welcome to the first episode of the Under the Buff podcast.
Yes.
I'm very excited about this new podcast that we're taking on. I'm the host for tonight, Clayton Fawcett. I'm joined by Merge. How you doing, Merge?
What is up? I'm very excited for this.
Merge has been freaking out on us, well, especially me and Nelson the past couple of days, just because we haven't had the time. So I think he finally busted one out.
Hey.
And then we've also got Nelson. How are you doing, Nelson?
I'm doing a lot of homework, but I am pretty excited to get back to writing, hopefully pretty soon. There are a lot of stuff going on in sports right now, and there are so many ideas in my head, but I haven't had the time to put them into words yet. But I will, especially when the NBA season comes around. I'll be writing all of D'Angelo fan fiction articles. So, you know. And you can find I'm writing at Iconic Mnemonic. So
yes, as I was saying, we have a new podcast. The three of us, decided that our time with Lakers sports had run its course. So yeah, we're back, and under the new podcast, we got a new logo. Shout out to Master Red Snappa on Twitter for the great logo.
I was so happy when I saw the logo.
It's great. And for now, you guys can find our writing when we have time to write at Laconic Mnemonic, thanks to Kyle and Colton.
Yeah.
So, fellas.
Nelson, why are you so loud? Hold on, I'm sorry. Nelson's so loud right now.
Oh, sorry, I was drinking water.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm hosting, so of course he has to be loud.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, with the Under the Bus podcast, we are going to, like we were over at Lakers Pulse and back in the day with the Backdoor Cut podcast, we're going to primarily focus on Lakers stuff, but we've decided that we're now also going to be talking a lot more general NBA as well. If we can turn it to, in relation to the Lakers, then we'll go ahead with that. But for now, that's just how we want to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, first off, with Laker news, well, one with today, they got the new Wish app logo.
Yes.
On the jersey. It looks like just an iron-on, even though there is stitches on it. It looks pretty cheesy, but at least it's not as bad as the Miami Heat one that I just saw. What do you guys think of that real quick?
I think it's fine. I'm a pretty big fan of the jerseys overall. They look much cleaner and fresher than the Adidas ones. Not a huge overhaul. I mean, it's not like I expected different colors, but I mean, I guess it's Lakers and gotta stick with some traditional colors, color scheme. So I can't really fault them for that. But yeah, I mean, I think the jerseys look fine. I think the ad is a little bit off. It's a little bit weird right now, but I think that maybe 5 games into the season, it's gonna be it's not even there.
Yeah, it's not, at least as long as it's not what soccer logo ones that they have.
Oh man, yeah, those are huge.
Those are all over the place.
Yeah. And then Merge, what do you think?
Personally, I was kind of hoping. Well, I mean, to start off with the actual ad, I was fine with it. It doesn't look off to me. It just looks like it's there and it'll be there for a while. The jerseys overall, I was kind of hoping they would kind of modernize the Laker jersey a little bit. They didn't really, but I'm hoping eventually in the future they'll start to go away from the traditional Laker jersey they've had for the past 17, 18 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I'm fine with the ad. I've seen some worse ads in the NBA on the jersey, so yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I was right there with you guys. I kind of wanted a bit of a rebranding type of thing on the jerseys, but I mean, for now they're fine. I mean, it's kind of like Yankee pinstripes. They're not going to be changing that very, very often.
Yeah.
So, also with the Lakers, they just signed Andrew Bogut the other day. What do you guys think of that? Let's start with you first, Merge.
When I first saw it, I was really confused because it didn't make any sense to me. Because we had 4 centers already on the roster, whether it be a training camp invite in Steven Zimmerman or Thomas Bryant, Zubats, Brook Lopez, of course. And then we have guys like Larry Nance Jr. and Julius Randle, and maybe to a certain extent Kyle Kuzma, who can play small ball 5. So I just thought it was gonna clog kind of everything, and it would give less minutes for Kuzma. But after reading into it, I think they're a little worried about Brook Lopez's back. From what I've heard, I don't think it's too much of a worry, but they're kind of slightly worried.
Yeah, who wrote that? It wasn't Medina.
It was Orm.
Medina's up in Warriors now.
It was the Orm.
So it was Orm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's that, and then Pelinka and Magic and Luke had some sort of press thing yesterday with ESPN. And Pelinka was saying that if you looking at the analytics, the Lakers were one of the worst in the paint, which was obvious, but I mean, pretty obvious analytics. But adding Bogut, I guess theoretically could help with that if he's the same as he was his last couple years on the Warriors. He isn't Rudy Gobert by any stretch of the imagination, but I guess he sleeps better than Lopez. Then he has the passing aspect too, which is nice to have in a Luke offense. I know Luke liked him, and that's a big reason why Bogut came to the Lakers. I saw some people acting like, oh, he chose the Lakers over all these other teams, and I'm like, all right, let's calm down a little bit. It's Andrew Bogut. It's not like we got LeBron over. It's not like we got LeBron over all these guys. As
Pete over at Laker Film Room said, there was a reason why Andrew Bogut was still a free agent.
Right.
On what, September, it was 2 days ago, September 19th. So yeah, there's a reason why he was still available.
Yeah. I kind of expect him to make the roster. If I had to make a prediction, I think he makes the roster. And I think Thomas Bryant doesn't play really at all in the regular season. He doesn't play a lot of G League time unless Zubats gets hurt or something like that.
Him and Zubats, I think, will both get a lot of G League time.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not really doesn't move the needle in any way for me. So.
Yeah, Nelson.
If Bogut was healthier, then I'd probably feel better about the move. But right now, I kind of don't really care. Like Clayton said, there's a reason why he was still a free agent, and that's mostly due to him being injured. And he's never been the most healthiest guy in the world, so you can't really rely on him that much. It'll be interesting to see how much run he gets and how long he lasts, because I don't think he's gonna make it through the whole season being completely healthy. He's probably gonna have to sit out some days for rest. So he's gonna have some kind of injury. So with that in mind, I think that it's still a pretty good signing. I mean, Zubats wasn't offering anything on the defensive end apart from blocking shots literally at the rim. And Bogut's a much better passer, and he's also a veteran. So those kind of little small things they could kind of add up. And although I really wonder how much he can move, especially after his surgery. Hopefully he can still move some. But I mean, a snail is better than Zubats, so it's just not like he has like some stiff competition there. Get it? Because they're both stiff big men.
Oh my word. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Was it a nice signing? Sure. I fully expect him to make the roster. I think we'll see a lot of G League time for Bryant and Zubats. If the Lakers plan on playing like they did in Summer League, that breakneck pace, Zubats is not going to be able to handle all that.
Yeah, it sounds like they really want to do that, especially what Luke's been saying.
Yeah. Bogut and Brook they'll be great mentors for both Zubats and Bryant.
Yes.
That said, I mean, Bogut, he's what, 36, 37 now?
Yeah, I think he's younger than that.
He's pretty, I think he's pretty old. I'll check it. ESPN, I think they already updated it. Yeah. Holy crap, he's only 32?
Yeah,
I swear to God, I thought he was a lot older than that.
He got drafted in 05, and he was super young when he got drafted.
Yeah, I know. He was a sophomore year from Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have swore maybe it's that guy that everyone feels is so much older, and he's really not that old. Okay. Anyways, I expect him just to be here for a 1-year thing. The rim protection is good. It's a good aspect. Hopefully he can teach Zubats and Bryant that aspect of his game. And he's also a really good passer. And Zubats last year was not a good passer. And I can't honestly say how Bryant was last year since Indiana was so bad. I'd have to go back and look at his freshman tape to see how he was at all. Yeah. But it's a fine signing. I mean, we've got 5 centers on the roster, on the 20-man roster right now. I fully expect Steven Zimmerman to just be a camp body at this point. He might stay with the South Bay Lakers. Probably, I would just assume he probably just goes somewhere else, though.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I think Zubats and Bryant will get quite a bit of time in the G League. But also you got to remember, Bogut, as you said, isn't like a pillar of health. And I think Brook Lopez, this was his second year of being like super healthy. So, and with Brook's back injury and the foot issues in the past, I mean, you just never know. Okay, so the last 3 years he's played 72, 73, and 75. So,
yeah,
I swear I'm just stuck on the foot injury. That just scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, especially for big men, it's a big thing. I mean, look at Yao Ming, look at Joel Embiid. You know.
Exactly. All right. So with that, I think we're good on just the true Laker-centric news, right? Unless you guys want to talk about.
You want to talk about Lonzo's shoes?
Talk about shoes. They look much better than the last ones. That's all I'm gonna say.
They look like shoes that I would buy if they were not $500. I mean, they're still really overpriced because they look pretty similar to some Adidas shoes that I've seen before. So.
Oh no, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you want to get essentially the same shoe, go look on brandblack.com. That's as our boy Nas found out on an article. Big Baller Brand, whatever, partnered with Brand Black or is getting advice from them. So they've got a lot of the new technology from Brand Black. And apparently I've never really heard of them up until a couple months ago. But they're really, really like good technology in the shoes and people really like them. So that's good. That's good. Hopefully he can actually wear his own shoe instead of having to rotate,
Hopefully he can wear his own shoe and actually play well in his own shoe. Not like in some league when he wore the triple Bs and then he played really poorly.
That game was in Kobe, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we're going to move on to our Pacific Division preview.
Yes.
All right. We were talking about starting with the best at the top, but you know what? Forget that. We're going to go with the bottom. Okay. I think that the Kings are going to be the worst team in the division. So we'll start with them real quick. I'll talk about them. Right. They added quite a bit of talent this year. Bogdanovich is a player over in Europe, one of the top 3 players, they say, over there.
Yeah.
According to Samasini, he would have been a lottery pick in this draft.
Yes. He is a little bit older already at 25, but he's been a draft and stash for a few years now. But really good player. They added Vince Carter as veteran. Same with George Hill and Zach Randolph. But I think the thing that we really want to talk about is in regards to the draft, where they had 4 picks in the top 35.
Yeah,
they had De'Aaron Fox, Harry Giles, Justin Jackson, and Frank Mason. So I liked the Giles pick because that was at 20, I believe, and I liked the Mason pick at like 34, 35.
Yeah.
Was not a huge fan of De'Aaron Fox at 5. If you want to go back to our old podcasts, you can see me rant about how not much I like De'Aaron. And then Justin Jackson, that dude's a 4. he's a 4 straight up. I kind of like their draft, and I like quite a bit of their young talent, but it's just such a weird mixed match of just like, what is their starting lineup? George Hill, Buddy Hield.
I think, do they start Justin Jackson or Bogdan?
I would start Bogdan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's got to be who it is.
Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, on the depth chart on ESPN, which means literally nothing right now.
Yeah,
so
right now.
Do not actually look at it for anything. It has Bogdan at the bottom of the shooting guards, but I have a feeling he'll probably just play the 3. Then they've got at the 4 Scal and Zach, which if Zach can toughen Scal up, that's really interesting, because he is soft as Charmin, as people like to say. And then they've got a ton of centers, and I would not be surprised if we saw Costa Koufis. I don't know if they're going to be able to move Papi Giannis, but I could see Costa Koufis and Willie Cauley-Stein moved, but or just one of them. But I think they're going to be a bottom 5 team in the NBA. What do you guys think, Nelson?
Yeah, I think they're not going to be good, but I was a pretty big fan of their draft. They had a really toxic locker room with Boogie there. I mean, from all accounts, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, Justin Jackson, I didn't like that pick. I'm not a huge fan of his game, but he seems like a cool guy. He's from UNC. He never caused any problems. He seems like a cool guy. And then De'Aaron Fox, another great kid from all accounts. Frank Mason, a veteran, 4-year guy, leader on the court.
He was a guy I really wanted.
Oh yeah, I love Frank Mason.
Yeah, really solid and has a little bit of upside as a backup point guard.
Yeah.
And also Harry Giles, which another good kid that worked hard to get back into shape.
That's a lotto ticket right there. You have no idea what he's going to become.
Yeah, but I mean, he can still hit, and if he hits, it's going to be
if he hits,
insane steal.
That's going to be if he hits him and Scal potentially together could be really fun.
Yeah, and I think drafting with that kind of mindset, it bears good results. Although it was kind of weird how they drafted Giles, but they went with Justin Jackson, who's such like the safest pick ever, who's going to be like on an NBA roster, but like won't be all that good.
He'll be a rotation player, but
I think really what it just was for me was the De'Aaron Fox pick. Like, you could have gone Dennis Smith Jr.
Wow, he'd be so great for them. I think they're worried about his
attitude.
Yeah, the attitude issue.
Yeah, I get that. It just, man, that would have been the pick for me. I can't even remember off the top of my head, honestly, who went after that. I haven't even bothered to think about this draft for a while.
It was, I believe it went Markkanen, Isaac, or other way around. Isaac Markkanen.
Yeah. Isaac would have been really cool, but just De'Aaron. I know Kings fans are really high on him, but he just leaves a lot to be desired for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really gonna wait and see on him on the NBA level because they have Scal there who can stretch the floor, so that's kind of intriguing. And Harry Giles shows some kind of a jump shot, so I think that could also develop into something. So I think that there's and Zebo so somewhat of a mid-range shot. So I mean, there are workarounds to De'Aaron Fox as your starting point guard. And I think that if he's not going to be worth it at number 5, which I guess you could call that a bust, but I don't think that it was that insane of a reach, especially for a team that really needed the point guard and who's really invested in the culture. And I mean, that's their scouting process. So I mean, I don't think that they regret that decision. But getting back to their whole team, I think they're gonna be a bit better than people expect. Not gonna be like really bad, just because George Hill is a really good player. Zach Randolph, he still offers something. Willie Cauley-Stein, a really good defender. He should hopefully make a leap this year. Scal should make a leap. Buddy should also, one year in the league already. He played really well in the second half of the season. So I think that with all that combined and with the positive locker room, I think that they're going to win and impress more than people expect. And I just think that the Bulls and a couple other teams are going to be worse, but I definitely don't think that the Kings are going to be in playoff contention because they don't have that guy yet.
Mertz?
Yeah, I think I was a big fan of their draft too. I love Frank Mason. I liked the lottery take on Giles. I didn't hate Justin Jackson where he was taken. I think he's going to be a solid rotation player in his career. I don't think he's going to be anything better or worse than that. De'Aaron Fox, I was in the middle. I mean, I like Nelson. I see why they got him, and I understand it because of culture and potentially he could be really awesome. He looked better in the summer league with a mid-range jumper off the pick and roll. He's still really fast and he's decent at attacking the rim. You're just hoping if that jumper comes along, then he can be a really good player. I think Scal and Willie Cauley-Stein have some nice potential as well. Scal being able to stretch the floor, being really good offensively, and Willie being able to clean up his sort of mistakes on defense. I think Buddy Hield is the most underrated player on this roster. I know me and Clayton and Nelson hated on him coming into the last year's draft or the year before draft, and we clowned the Pelicans for taking him where he did. I still think they should have took Jamal Murray just because of youth, but he was really good in the second half of the season. He was shooting over 40%. He averaged over 13 or 14 points per game. I really like him as a catch and shoot, just shooter, a pure shooter for a team. Coming off the bench or starting, he still has problems defensively, but I mean, I think he is a lot better than I expected him to be, especially last year, the second half of the season. I like what?
I mean, I think if they didn't have Buddy Hield, then I think they might lean more towards Dennis Smith. But I think having such a really good catch shooter that helps to maybe neutralize some of their concerns with the jump shot. Just kind of throwing that out there. I think that maybe if they didn't have such a good shooter as Buddy, maybe they would probably think about it a little bit more.
Yeah. Buddy shot 39% from three last year. While he was in Sacramento, he shot almost 43% on 5.5 attempts per game. So it wasn't exactly a small sample size. That was pretty good. I have to say that he made me look wrong. And you know what? I'm happy to be wrong. I'd much rather be wrong on guys and they be successful than to be right and they suck. Unless, of course, you beat a woman and then you deserve to be scum. So, anyways.
Buddy Hield's another culture guy too, which is that he's a really good kid. He, all accounts, a lot of people liked him. He had a really good personality, which adds to that locker room dynamic. I think Vince Carter is a really, really great, one of the best old veterans you can have in the league.
I wanted him in LA, so
yeah, I did too. I would have loved him kind of mentoring Brandon. Zach Randolph, if he, now that he's not going to get sent to jail, he'll contribute for the team. That whole thing was weird. They have some other pieces. I mean, Garrett Temple's not really going to play, but he's there.
I bet he plays.
I think they want Mason to play more, but I mean, he's a good defender.
I'm sure they'll play Temple at the 2.
And then Bojan, I think I really don't know too much what to expect from him. I'm kind of interested to see how he does it on the roster. And I really want to see some weird lineups from Dave Yeager when it comes to this team. I want to see people like George Hill and De'Aaron Fox on the court together. I want to see like a George Hill, Frank Mason, Buddy Hield, Justin Jackson, Giles lineup or something crazy like that. I think he really needs to play around with some weird lineups, and if some of them stick, then it helps for the future. I think in the future they're in a better position than some people think they are, but they're definitely still going to be a bottom 5 team in the league. I think they're probably going to be hoping for a like a Michael Porter type of guy, maybe even Luka Doncic. Putting him at the 3 would be interesting to see with all the guys around him. But yeah, I think they'll be bottom 2 in the West, but a lot better in like the whole scheme of things in the NBA. I think a lot of East teams are going to be really bad this year. So.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. All right, I think we're good on them.
Yeah.
let's move on. I think we all decided that the Suns were going to be the second worst team.
Yeah.
So we'll get into them. First off, I have to say before I'm going to let Nelson talk first.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, go the U with Devon Reed.
Devon Reed.
Yep. There you go, Nelson.
Yeah. Well, the U. Just every time there's a U player, I already know what's gonna happen. Bruce Brown this year is gonna be number one on Clayton's draft board. But
Lonnie
you know,
Walker.
honestly I thought the Suns were gonna be the worst team in this division. Just because they don't really have the quality of veterans that the Kings have. I mean, the Kings have George Hill.
Yeah, Zach Randolph can still put up numbers too.
Yeah, and Zach Randolph. I know you guys are high on Bledsoe, but I mean he's good, but I mean he's not. I think George Hill is a better basketball player. But
disagree,
if Hill is ever healthy, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Bledsoe has his issues, but Hill had lots of health issues last year.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, Devin Booker is an awesome scorer already, so young. But I still want to see him, really, really put up elite shooting numbers because that form is really pretty, but it doesn't go in. And you can only be called. They can put good shooter for so long when you're averaging not insane amounts of an insane 3-point percentage. But yeah, I mean they drafted Josh Jackson, who I really soured on towards the end of the draft, and I'm still pretty sour on him, just because he doesn't have that one skill that's this is why we drafted him. Just because he was overrated in a lot of areas and stuff like that. But I mean, he still has potential, and he still is going to be a really good player, or at least a good player. They also have T.J. Warren, which another guy who's going to put up his points. I think he's probably going to be one of their key contributors on the team because he's good. And Tyson Chandler, he's
going to be gone soon. I feel like.
Yeah, he's probably going to be traded, but he's there, I guess. And getting to the power forward position,
Marquise.
All right, so
man.
Okay, so Dragon Bender's a 4. He's not a 3. He's a 4-5. And I really need to
Watson.
Bender. I like what I saw from Bender at Summer League, and I really want Watson to unleash the dragon.
Better. He looks so much better, man.
Yeah, and I mean Marquise Chris looked as expected as Marquise Chris. He had a couple cool dunks, but the rest of the time he wasn't good. He was missing rebounds. He got boxed out by a guard. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Marquise Chris does. I'm sorry, he can dunk over people. That's cool, all right? But, when it comes to playing easy, fundamental basketball, he can't do it. He just can't. His jump shot, it's a work in progress. Form's good. We're going to see how that develops. In the post, he's kind of, still developing and figuring himself out, I guess. But yeah, I just start Dragon Bender, please. Just start him. Because I think he was the higher draft pick and he should be the priority. So start him at the 4, please. I really need to see Dragon start just because I'm a huge believer in Dragon and Marquise Chris isn't good. Even though he may put up points and he may rebound just because he's a power forward and he gets those opportunities. But I mean, honestly, this guy, it's a pain to watch because he's so athletic, he's so gifted. He's not. He should be a good basketball player, but the fundamentals, the easy parts of the game, he just can't. He's mobile enough to switch and move his feet. Sometimes he just doesn't care. He's just what? No, just go ahead, and go by me. He can move that laterally. It's just that the potential is there with Chris, and he can be a top 10 player. I see that kind of potential with him, but he just doesn't execute basic fundamental stuff. And I mean, if you don't have good fundamentals, then I mean, you just can't be a good basketball player. But there's my Marquise Chris rant. He's not a good basketball player. I don't care how many times he dunks on people. And I honestly think that they should free the Dragon. Please free the Dragon.
His basketball IQ. I've said it.
He makes
time
Julius
again.
Randle like Larry Bird. I mean,
Yeah, his basketball IQ might be the lowest like ever. It's
bad.
so bad. But yeah, but because he puts up a couple of highlights, people think he's good. I mean, that's general fan.
Yeah.
So, Merge. What do you think of this roster? What are you thinking about it?
I think the biggest worry I have, and it isn't really with the players. It's with, I feel like Earl Watson is going to play a lot of players out of position, like Josh Jackson. I think he's going to play him at like the 2 a lot or something like that, or the 3, and never play him at the 4.
I think Dragon Bender's going to play at the 2, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of line.
I think Earl Watson might be the worst coach in the league. He's really, really bad.
That's what happens when you listen to players. You don't hire a coach based off of but we love him. No.
Yeah.
That is not proper process.
Yeah.
No.
I really, really need Dragon Bender to be unleashed because I am also a big believer in Bender. I think he can become a top 25 player in the league. I think he's very underrated defensively. He has that jumper. He's a pretty good athlete as well. I think he can be – I feel like he should be up there sort of with – maybe not exactly up there with him, but he needs to be in that young guy conversation. But he never plays, so no one ever sees it. Derrick Jones Jr. is the guy that I like off the bench for them defensively. He's a crazy, crazy athlete. I think the jumper's a work in progress.
Merge brought up an athlete. This is really shocking.
I'm okay. Whatever.
That was originally my boy, though. So
I know.
So I have to save Merge on that one. That was
nothing was more hilarious than watching him fail and knowing that Merge was gonna be like, "Oh, it's you'll get it next time." He's still a good dunker.
I still can't believe that dude made the roster last year. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Derrick Jones Jr. I know Clayton loves Derrick Jones Jr. Another guy that I know Clayton doesn't like, but I love for some reason is Tyler Ulis. As a backup point guard, I'm a big fan of him. I don't know. I loved him in Kentucky. I think he's a good defender. I think he can distribute really well and shoot the ball well.
Yeah. It's not that I hate Tyler Ulis. I hate Tyler Ulis's height.
Yeah.
I don't like basketball players under
6 feet.
6'1", 6'2", anything underneath that, I start to really question.
Yeah.
And he's listed at 5'10". There's no way that dude is 5'10". I'm gonna tell you right now, the dude is probably about 5'8".
I think he's the same height as Isaiah.
Yeah, and Kay Felder. He might even be shorter. So
yeah, I don't expect Brandon Knight to be on the roster. He tore his ACL. He's gonna be gone soon. Tyson Chandler, I expect him to be traded.
No. He'll be there because they've got 3 more years of that deal.
They do. I thought there wasn't that much left on it.
I'll look it up, but while you keep talking, but
wow,
no, he's got a while to go.
Man.
Wow. Okay. Just so you know, without shoes, 5'3" and a quarter, and it says he's 5'10" in shoes for Tyler Ulis. I still don't think I believe that.
Those are some crazy shoes, man.
Yeah.
I need to get those shoes.
Well, an inch and a quarter, that's not anything insane. That's not like Anthony Brown where he gained 4 inches or 3 inches. That was the weirdest thing ever. But yeah, you keep going.
Yeah. I like Jared Dudley as a vet on the team. He provides some spacing if they need it. I liked the pickup of Devon Reed in the second round. I don't know what to expect from Alec Peters. He's a good shooter, but he's a big and he isn't good defensively. And he's a shooter. Alan Williams is a guy that I liked last year. I'm glad he got the contract he got last. Dog
type of dude.
Yeah, he's a really fun guy to watch. I think he's friends with Larry Jr. as well, but he's just I think he's a fan favorite. I know Suns fans really like him, and he's just the guy that tries on every play. So he's a really good guy off the bench you'd love to have. TJ Warren is a good scorer. I don't know what else he can really do. he's kind of like a very, very light version of Carmelo. Devin Booker's Devin Booker. You can't convince me.
I think that's the first time anyone has ever compared him to Melo.
Booker's Devin Booker. Devin Booker's Devin Booker. I still don't think he's a top 5 young player in this league. Maybe he's not even top 8. Maybe there's the guys I like more than him, but he's still a great scorer. Don't get me wrong. He's still a good player. He's a great scorer. He can be a great shooter. He's really good in the in-between game and mid-range.
He wasn't very good last year.
He was not that good last year. As people thought he was. He put up numbers.
70 points though. So now he's a Hall of Famer.
Hey, 70 points. It does not matter that they lost, and it doesn't matter that they kept fouling the other team.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter that Avery Bradley didn't play either.
Yeah. Oh no, unless you will Photoshop it in like that one dude.
Unless you're Chris Broussard, who didn't vote Avery Bradley in the all-defensive team because he got 70 points dropped on him by Devin Booker.
I can't believe people still listen to that team.
I still think Eric Bledsoe is a top 10 point guard in the league. He just needs to stay healthy. I mean, he's a guy who can consistently put up 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and like a steal a game. He needs to be on a good team. I still want to see him on a good team. Man, but it's gonna be really like between. I think those two are gonna be like the worst teams in the West. Them and the Kings, but they won't be like that bad because again, I think the East is gonna be so bad next year. But yeah, I like I like the talent on the team. I think they need to get a new coach ASAP, and then to start from there. And Free Dragon.
Free Dragon. I'm also on the Free Dragon train. I think they were the worst team in the West last year.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, Lakers picked second, but that was only because they jumped them. They were the worst team in the West last year, and I don't really see how they got better.
Yeah.
I do. Obviously, I joked. Anytime the U is featured somewhere, I have to bring it up because of Nelson. But like they do have young talent, but the problem is none of the young talent is any good right now.
Yeah,
like potential is good, and I'm sure people, if they watch this later, they'll say Devin Booker's freaking amazing. He dropped 70 points. Like, dude, like watch the games. Like, go look at his shooting stats, and his defense is atrocious. He shot, I think, 35. I will check it real quick again. I think it was 35 or 36% from 3 last year. Okay, you can't have the rep of an elite shooter when you're shooting 36.3% from 3. His true shooting percentage 53%. That's not good.
No.
Like, I understand, like, he's young. All right, like the dude's potential is really high. He obviously should have been drafted a lot higher than he went.
Mm-hmm.
And he's developed some handles and whatnot, but he doesn't defend. He's not the shooter that people think he is. Like, I guess that's my kind of my Phoenix rant.
Just Devin Booker.
Like, he's got potential to be a good player.
He isn't one.
But he's got this reputation of being an elite player already. I'm like, no, he's not. He's definitely not. Marquise Chris is trash. Give Dragon Bender all the time. I soured on Josh Jackson really bad at the end. I don't know if he's going to be able to score on his own. I don't know. Whatever. Alex Lynn,
he's gone.
He's betting on himself. Like, no one cares. Like, you're a top 5 pick a few years ago and you still suck. Like, I don't know. Like, I think they'll be really fun.
Yeah.
They'll be running up and down the court a lot. They're going to score a lot of points because they're giving up a lot of points. But last year they won 24 games, and it wouldn't surprise me if they win even less than that. And if I was them, I would look to trade Bledsoe ASAP to try and get another couple assets. And like, while they should be trying to add, like some good players and talent, like a Bledsoe, when your next best veteran is
Jared Dudley.
Jared Dudley, and I like Dudley. Dudley's actually really good. He's super underappreciated still. When that's your next best veteran, that's a concern. Tyson Chandler had a bit of a resurgent year, but no.
Yeah, no one cares. Nobody cares.
And anytime a team has Ronnie Price on their team, they suck.
Also, the Phoenix Suns, they are literally just a team used for leverage. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like anytime in free agency, Blake Griffin would just call the Suns and be like, "You guys are gonna offer me that max, right?" And of course they say yes, and then the Clippers give them the max.
Yep. I'm gonna say a guy that I want people to look out for is Mike James. He's a 6'1" point guard. He was overseas for the last few years.
Yeah.
He killed it in summer league, which he should. He's so old, but a lot of NBA writers were really high on him coming back to the States.
Shout out to Sam. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam Vecini. I think that's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I have no idea really who they end up cutting. They should cut Ronnie Price.
Elijah Millsap.
Probably Elijah Millsap. Peter Jock, likely.
Oh, man, Peter Jock.
Yeah, but then it comes down to Alec Peters and letting Alex Len go. I don't know. They're going to be interesting because I think some young talented young guy is going to be gone. Like maybe Derek Jones doesn't make the roster this year.
Probably.
Since they added Josh Jackson. Maybe, which even though, I'm going to say here for the Lakers, he'd be really fun just so I can see Lonzo throw half-court alley-oops to that dude. It would be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
He's going to get up. He's going to jump and get anything.
Yeah, there were a couple in the D League he had last year that were ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't shoot worth a lick right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Corey Brewer if Corey Brewer wasn't Corey Brewer.
I would pay so much money to watch Derek Jones put up 52.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That'd be every single one. Watch video of Derek Jones Jr. score 52 points. All 26 baskets were dunked.
Man.
All right. I think we've spent too much time on the Suns already.
We spent too much time ranting on Dragon Bender too.
Yeah. The team that we decided was going to be the third team. I don't know. They're just the middle of the division. Is the Lakers. We finally have a full 20-man roster. I still have no idea who the second two-way contract is to. The first one, obviously, to Alex Caruso, Summer League legend.
Wait, hold on.
But there's the two-way contracts. There's probably guys like Briante Weber, Steven Zimmerman,
BJ Beacham, maybe.
BJ Beacham, who I actually think I would just try and find a way to keep Beacham on the roster, to be honest, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Merge, you haven't talked first yet, so I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, so I'm not expecting what a lot of people are expecting. I know there's some people that are expecting playoffs for Lakers. And I think it isn't because the Lakers are terrible. It's just because the West is so damn stacked. There is people who I heard said that the Lakers are easily better than Denver, who have two proven. Okay, I don't know if I say Jokic is proven, but Millsap is a all-star and Jokic is a potential star, right?
I want to say something real quick about Millsap. Stop calling him underrated. He's a 4-time All-Star. Okay, I think he's properly rated. I saw someone say that. I want to say it was Snotty. or James Hollis. He's properly rated. He's been in discussion for Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-Star. Like I said, he just got a full max contract?
Yes,
4
I believe
years.
so.
And he's properly rated now. Okay,
Yeah, it's kind of like a Mike Conley thing now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sorry, you go back ahead.
Yeah, like I said, there's people who think that the Lakers are better than like the Nuggets, like better than the Grizzlies, better than the Jazz, better than the Clippers. I don't see it. I think they could be better than the Blazers. Blazers are a very hit or miss team, and the Grizzlies are another team that just doesn't have a lot of talent outside of their 2 stars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting a lot from Brandon Ingram this year. Not like Magic Johnson expecting a lot, like over 20 points per game. But I've seen a lot about him improving his jump shot. I've seen a lot about him getting bigger. I'm really excited to watch him play, and I think he could have a really good jump this year, like a 15 point per game, 16 point per game type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see how the dynamic is between him and Lonzo. Lonzo, I'm not expecting a lot, like some people are too. I'm expecting something around 10 points, 4 boards, and 6 or 7 assists, something like that. I know some people think that he's going to immediately set the world on fire. You still need to worry about that jumper. He didn't hit it a ton in summer league. But I've gotten higher on Lonzo than ever since the beginning of the draft process last year. I think I know what to expect from Lonzo now. I really just want to see him turn people into passers. I'm hoping he can turn Jordan Clarkson into a passer. It's a tall task, but you never know. I'm excited to see KCP.
I mean, like Vanderblue wasn't even really like people were like, "Oh, I made Vanderblue into a passer." Like, no, Vanderblue still shot a lot.
Yeah, Vander wasn't really. He made like extra passes, but he isn't really a non-passer like Jordan is.
Yeah, I mean, like. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited to see KCP. I've been a fan of his. I think he's more of the more underrated guards in the league, shooting guards in the league. He's a versatile defender. He can make the 3. He can get really hot at certain times from 3-point line. I'm hoping for pre-shoulder surgery. KCP, from what I've heard, he's looked good, and he's been in the gym every day, just grinding, which is nice to see. Julius, this is a big season for Julius, potentially. I know a lot of people think he's gone already. I know Clayton thinks he's gone already. I still have hope in Julius, and I really want to see him succeed on the Lakers, just because he's the last of that the D'Angelo. I think Jordan Clarkson isn't really anything anymore, and then Julius, he's the last of that 3.
Oh, don't say that about Jordan Clarkson. Didn't you see the guy earlier today saying that he's going to be an elite guard?
Oh man, people still think that, and it's I don't know.
It's way too funny.
I know. I think Brook Lopez is going to be our best player this year. He's going to put up 20+ points, 6+ rebounds, 7+ rebounds a game. He's a top 50 player in the NBA. He's offensively, he's one of the best centers in the league. Defensively is where you're kind of worried about him. He at least he's gonna kind of help Lonzo in the pick and roll, pick and pop type thing. He's a good finisher, but I can see him getting ran off the court a lot of time against teams who are running small ball lineups.
He's not gonna play 30 minutes a game.
No, he's gonna play 26 to 28.
He usually doesn't, anyways. But
yeah,
if he plays 30 minutes a game, Luke Walton messed up.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we get some small ball 5 type stuff with Julius and Larry. Larry Nance Jr., he's a guy that Laker fans love just because of his personality and the dunks and stuff like that. I think he's slightly overrated. I still think I just want him to shoot the damn ball. Please just shoot the ball, Larry. I'm begging you. He just needs to shoot the ball, and he'd be a much better player. Like it's really that simple. I feel like with him, if he's just aggressive, then I can see people saying, "Oh yeah, he's better than Julius" or something like that. I can see that, but he doesn't shoot. He has the defensive potential. He has the athleticism. He's a good passer. I think the jumper is there. He just doesn't do it, and that's just the biggest worry with him is that he just gets too shy and he doesn't shoot the ball. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Kuzma, how many minutes he gets, if he plays any minutes at the 3, which I can see happening. I know Clayton does not like it. I don't know if I particularly like it either. I don't know if Nelson really likes it either, but I think it's going to happen. I think Luke's going to try it just to get him minutes. I'm really hoping Briante Weber and VJ Beacham can make it, and I'm hoping Tyler Ennis isn't on the roster at the beginning of the season.
100%.
Wait. So you're saying that Tyler Ennis isn't good?
Sorry. I know he put up 41. I know he shot 41% from 3.9 in the last month of the season, or something like that.
But those last 15 games, man, you know those are more important than the 3 years before that, right?
Oh man, I just don't want him on my team anymore. I don't want him on my team anymore. I really just want Briante Weber as our backup, or not even that. I maybe have Josh Hart play those point guard minutes. I want to see Josh Hart play. We didn't see him get to play a lot in the summer league. He got hurt super early, and I know he has really good role player potential, and he's just a very solid player. And I'm hoping maybe he just slowly creeps over Jordan in minutes. I don't really see it happening immediately, but I can see him taking minutes from Jordan if he shows out. Zubats, I've kind of just lost all hope. I'm a huge Thomas Bryant better guy. Not because Bryant is necessarily better right now, but I think his skill set and his potential translates better into the traditional NBA compared to Zubats. Potentially with Thomas, he has the athleticism, the rim protection, potentially shooting. He looked better. He looked more mobile on the defensive end in summer league, and he's just a really good energy, really good guy who just gonna always just try his hardest on every play. I think the Lakers finish as a 10 or 11 in the West, maybe 9, but I don't see them sneaking into the 8th seed. The only way that happens is if Lonzo puts up 14, 8, and 7 a game, something like that. He's the biggest key to that. I don't see him just blowing up like that, like he did in the summer league. So,
Nelson.
So after that 20-minute breakdown of the whole entire Lakers roster, I'm ready to give my thoughts on the Lakers. So the Lakers are going to be an average to slightly below average team next year. They're not going to make it to the playoffs. I want to see how healthy Brook Lopez is, and I'm going to be really curious about how that works. But I expect big things from Lonzo passing-wise. I expect him to really show why he's such an advanced passer, because playmaking is the one skill that translates the quickest apart from athleticism. So I want to see him show some strides and show progress in that aspect and show his effect that he had on Summer League. If you're expecting a performance like Summer League, you're in for a huge disappointment because the NBA is the real deal. And once you get there, rookies, unless you are going to be a legend from your rookie year, you will be humbled. And I think that's what's going to happen to Lonzo. But I'm not going to be looking for stats. I'm just going to be looking for the effect that he has on the team. We saw it at UCLA last year. UCLA really pretty much played Lonzo ball offense last year. So I think that this year, I want to see how much the Lakers take from that and how much Luke lets Lonzo, experiment with that. I don't expect much experimentation as far as Lonzo full court passes, but I think slowly
I fully expect him to be trying that stuff.
No. He's gonna try it, but I think he won't be doing it as often as it was in summer league. I think he'll try to ease it in just because.
I just think that he's just gonna be like F it and play exactly how he's played ever since Chino Hills.
Yeah, I mean possibly, but I just think that that's not gonna work all the time. I think that once Lonzo realizes that, things are probably gonna ease off the pedal with that kind of stuff. But I also really want to see how that works because it's not something that the NBA really does. So we'll see how like the NBA plans for that. But yeah, I mean the Lakers are going to be fun next year. Brook Lopez is an actually good NBA player. I do not expect him to average 20 points like Merch said, but I expect 17, 18 from Brook. And he won't offer that much on the defensive end, but he's not going to be dumpster fire on the defensive end. So yeah, I mean he's a good basketball player, and that's what the Lakers need right now. But yeah, Brandon Ingram's going to be really good. I think that he's really going to show a lot of strides like he showed in summer league. I just think that everything that he did in summer league translates to the real NBA. And I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to average 15 to 17 points next year. As far as the power forward position, I think the Lakers are overcrowded in the big area, and the Lakers are going to need to make a couple trades. We'll see what those trades are exactly. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers still have Deng's contract, even though they already traded away Monsko's contract. They're probably going to want to get rid of that. So we'll see what kind of cap maneuvering Pelinka and Magic do in that aspect. But yeah, this is going to be a huge year for Julius Randle. We'll see whether he can stay on the Lakers or not. I don't think he will, but there's always a chance that he might. Kuzma, when he plays the three, it's gonna be funny when he fails. That's all I'm gonna say as far as that. But I think Kuzma should definitely get minutes at the 4. That summer league performance was amazing, and although it's just summer league, I still think the Lakers should really try him out. And I think that if he really plays well in training camp, I think he will get those minutes. Not many at first, but I think that if he plays like he did in summer league, there's no reason why he shouldn't get those kind of minutes. But yeah, one more thing on the Kuzma playing the 3 and defending the 3. He had a good position against Jason Tatum, and I think that he can be good in spurts. But playing him 10 minutes at the small forward position is gonna be not ideal all the time. I guess you could do it per matchup, like if it's not exactly the quickest first step guy at the small forward position. I mean, sure, I guess. But most guys are pretty good. And at small forward position. So like, I mean, against Kawhi, you don't want Kuzma going up against Kawhi for even 2 minutes a game. Like if it's one possession or two, sure. But I mean, apart from that, I really don't think that he should be playing much. So yeah, I mean, Zubats and Thomas are probably going to play in the D League. Alex Caruso, I don't know what to expect, but he should.
Greatness. Expect greatness.
I mean, I did write an article about how he might be the greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA. But I just don't know what to expect in the real NBA. But as far as summer league, Alex Caruso is easily a Hall of Fame summer league player. So. Oh, and they should finish 9 or 10 in the West.
I think that's. I'll have them at like a 10th. While I would prefer Briante to beat out Ennis, if it came down to Ennis, I would just rather play JC at the point guard position.
Yeah. And like Josh Hart at the 2, something like that.
And Josh Hart at the 2. That was something that was kind of sticking out to me. I don't expect Vanderblue to make it. Just to kind of look at their depth chart again. It's ESPN. We have no idea exactly what's going to happen right now. After Lonzo, point guard is atrocious. And after Brandon Ingram, the small forward is atrocious.
Corey Brewer.
Oh, my word. People really do think Corey Brewer is good, man. It's unbelievable.
It's weird.
I do think we will see Luol Deng take a step up this year. Mm-hmm. At least I freaking hope so. I've been one of the loudest when it comes to the Lakers roster construction is absolute crap.
Yeah.
You've got 4 guys at the center. I'm assuming Zimmerman isn't going to be there. Mm-hmm. So I do think Zubats and Bryant both make the roster. It would be pretty dumb, in my opinion, to let either of them go. Because Lopez is 29?
Yes.
Yeah, he will turn 30 in April, and he's a free agent anyways, and I don't think I would really plan on bringing him back. I know a lot of people say on a team-friendly deal because of his bird rights. Yeah, I don't think so. Not for me. Not the type of archetype that I enjoy. Bogut, if he's back next year, something went wrong. But yeah, you've got 4 big men just on this depth chart, and then at the 4 you've got Julius, you got Nance and Kuzma. And I have to say that, man, I was freaking wrong about Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I am more than happy to be wrong on Kuzma.
Yeah.
Then at the small forward, you've got Ingram and Dang. That's a lot of guys that need minutes at the 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
You know, that's 9 guys. That's 9 guys that need time at the 4 and the 5. If there isn't someone that gets traded, like Ingram is probably going to play most of his minutes at the 3.
I think Ingram's going to play a lot, not a lot, but he's going to play some of the 1 and the 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be all over the place. Kuzma, as Nelson was saying, we've talked about it. I don't think we've talked about it on a podcast, but we've talked about it amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
If Kuzma's playing the 3, it's got to be against a guy like Tatum or the dude in Detroit. Do they listen? Yeah. Do they listen as they kind of have him as a power forward slash?
Him and like Marcus Morris were kind of the 3-4s.
Yeah. I mean, if like against guys like that, if they're gonna play him at the 3, that's fine, whatever. But like Kuzma's not going to be able to defend most. Like Kuzma against even a guy that we talked about earlier in Josh Jackson. Like that would not be a good situation because he's just going to out-athlete him.
Yeah.
He's just going to out-athlete him.
And Kuzma can really move his feet. Like he can really move. But I mean, for possessions, it's okay. But for help defense situations, but I mean, for like serious minutes, no, I'll pass.
Yeah. Like I've seen people say play him double-digit minutes per game at the 3. Like that. The only way that I would even come close to that would be about 8 minutes a game at the 3, and that's like 2 minutes at the end of the first when usually starters are starting to get time getting rest, and then 2 minutes to start the second because again, starters are usually getting rest, and then same thing with the third and the fourth quarter at the end of the third at the beginning of the fourth. I don't think that he should be defending guys like that. I consider him a true 4. I do. It's not that I want to trade Julius. It's that I think that his cap hold next year is just insane. If their plan, which it seems like their plan is to get 2 max guys, you can't have that cap hold on your sheet. You're going to have to move him. Could it be a move that ends up kicking him in the butt later? Yeah, definitely. It could be a huge mistake, but you can't have of your 15 guys that can play a night, or can you even play, is it 13 guys?
I think 13 are active. Yeah,
13 guys are active. You can't have. You can't have over half of that on the bench just active of 4s and 5s. Like I think Lopez and Bogut, like I said, I think Bogut makes it. You can't have Lopez, Bogut, and then both Zubats and Bryant playing, and then all 3 power forwards, and then rest everyone else. Like someone is going to have to be moved, and the easiest thing to do would be to try move Julius, and try and find a 3. Because the 3s is just bad. And I mean, moving Julius allows Dang to go back to the 4.
Yeah.
Because that was his best spot anyways. And an interesting one, Dang in his last year in Miami played minutes at the 5 apparently.
Wow.
I don't even know if I'm gonna look it up real quick. I don't even know if Basketball Reference had it, but I saw a couple writers talking about it on Twitter. I didn't watch Miami in the playoffs because I don't like Miami, so I didn't really care. I didn't really
That's
care
weird.
to. Yeah, it says yeah. His time there, he had 3% of his playing time at the 5. But I mean, they said in the playoffs was a lot more. So maybe you could see him get some, like, you just go super spread with it and hope that he can remember how to shoot, because he definitely couldn't shoot last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Ennis beats out Weber, just cut both of them.
Yeah.
And just try Jordan Clarkson and see if you can get his value up, and then trade him, because again, you're going to have to move him in order to get the cap space. But I was like one of Lonzo's biggest critics. I was not a fan of his, but as I said when we had D'Angelo, I hated when people would talk crap about D'Angelo and you were a Laker fan. So, if he has a bad game, he has a bad game. I'm gonna like point stuff out on that later, but I'm excited for Lonzo. I want to see stuff like Summer League. I do want to see him actually be able to shoot from deep, like he did at UCLA. I'm excited for this season to come up, but I think things need to be moved. Like, people need to be moved around, because like the roster construction is it's not good. Like Corey Brewer seeing more than like 10 minutes a game would just be bad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even like he shouldn't step on the floor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, all right. Let's move on. We're gonna have a lot more time later on to talk about the Lakers.
Yes.
Let's move on to the Clippers. I'll go first real quick. Dealing CP3, I thought that they were able to make they were able to make that trade interesting, and they had a pretty good summer, considering, of course, that they moved him. Getting Patrick Beverley, Sam Decker, Montrez, which I don't think he's very good, but whatever. People seem to like him. Going down the list of guys. Oh, if Willie Reed did beat his wife, that's disappointing, and he should be cut. And also they got Lou Williams from that trade.
Yeah.
They should be okay. I mean, maybe an 8 seed, maybe. You still have Blake. You still have DeAndre. I want to see how Blake is this year, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. Point Blake.
Yeah, point Blake. He was MVP levels when CP3 was out. I don't think people remember how good he was.
Oh yeah, he was so good.
He was so good. The Danilo Gallinari fit makes absolutely no sense to me.
He's a 4, so yeah.
Yeah. But the young guys that they have on the roster, with Decker, with Evans, even Bryce Johnson, Sindarius. I like all those guys. My favorite pickup though was Milos, our boy. That was the guy I really wanted Lakers to get, and they had the cap space to do it, and they didn't.
Man,
that was my boy.
Lonzo would have been so much fun.
Oh man, he can't play defense at all, but he might be a top 3 passer in the world. So good. Like imagine Marcel Huertas, except actually good.
Yeah,
really good. Okay,
actually really good on offense.
Yeah. I will be interested to see if they decide to blow this up even more.
Yeah, DJ is a free agent after this.
He's got a player option. He could potentially be gone next off season. I mean, they signed Danilo. Was it to a 3-year deal?
Yes.
So it'd be like Danilo and Blake and Patrick Beverley. I do like Patrick Beverley, and I could actually see them move him for yet another asset because I thought that they killed the draft. They didn't have a pick at all.
Yeah, they had Jawan and Sindarius.
Yeah, they ended up getting not in the first round. But I think they had a pick in the second round. But they ended up getting a second round pick and Jawan and Sindarius. I thought that was a great draft considering that both of those guys were being talked in, the 20 to 28 range, and they got him in the second round. I thought that was a great job by the Clippers. But I could see maybe about 40, 42 wins, something like that. This Clippers team could be a top 2 team, not in the West, in the division, obviously, or they could be number 4 if Blake Griffin goes down, because then it becomes Danilo and DeAndre. And I'm still a huge fan of DeAndre. You're not running a team through him, so. And Danilo's out with is it a broken hand or whatever?
Yeah, he punched someone in Euro basketball.
So I mean, him and Blake are best friends already. So all right, Nelson, you're up first.
Yeah, I think the Clippers are probably going to be, like you said, 8, 9. Probably their peak would probably be like 4 or 5. If Blake plays how I think Blake is going to play, now that he's going to be point Blake. I think that he's going to be. I think he is a good guy to bet your money on to be an MVP. He's a real sleeper, and I just really like the whole team. I mean, Dylan's a 4, but I think that he can still play some 3 still, and they always needed a 3, and that's the best small forward that they've had in a long time. Which is saying something. The guy's a 4. But yeah, I like Patrick Beverly. Austin Rivers showed some stuff and has shown some stuff.
People bag on him, and he's not as bad as people think.
He's a good.
He's obviously not great, but people think he's really bad, and he's
right.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good bench player. Yeah, he's a good bench player, but I mean, apart from that, doesn't really offer much. But I mean, the young players are kind of interesting. Juwan Evans and Thornwell don't get much from this year, but hopefully,
Decker.
Down the line, yeah. And Decker as well, yeah. But I'm really curious to see how this team develops and after they blow it up, because I don't think that ownership is going to be content with being that mediocre, especially if Blake goes down and they go to the 10th spot, then Doc gets fired, I think, and they decide to blow it up. But if Blake can't stay healthy, then I think that they will continue on the path that they're currently on. So this is definitely a really interesting season because a superstar could be traded. But we'll see how the dominoes fall. But
I think they trade Blake. They could trade Blake.
Yeah, I think they would trade Blake.
While I would have agreed with you before, look at his salary.
Right. Yeah, it's huge.
$29.5 million.
Yeah.
Just trying to match that is going to be really hard. So
especially if he gets hurt, no one's gonna really want anything.
Yeah.
Want to give up anything.
While I understand what you're saying, that's just really difficult to do.
Yeah. No, I definitely see what you're saying, but I just think that if things don't go all that well this year, I think that they're not really gonna have that much of an option, especially if if DeAndre decides to move to Milan because of they're not overachieving. But yeah, I think they should be safely in the playoffs. They're going to get bounced in the first round unless the 5th or 6th seed, which then they could compete a little bit. But yeah, if they're the 8th seed, they're getting bounced. They're not being the Warriors. So
yeah,
I just looked. It's a 5-year, $173 million deal.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's going to be a really hard deal to trade. I mean, if they deal him, it's going to have to be this year or next year.
Yeah.
Because 29
before his athleticism is completely gone.
Man, that contract could get ugly quick.
Yeah.
So, merch.
You guys brought up pretty much everything I was going to say, but I really the thing I'm going to look forward to the most is the point guard spot, just because Patrick Beverly and Milos are two of my favorite point guards in the league. I think Patrick Beverley's like criminally underrated. He's one of the best defenders in the league. At least on ball. He really gets in the heads of players like Steph and Russell Westbrook and just Damian Lillard, stuff like that. I really love Patrick Beverley, and I think he needs to be on a. I think I can see him being traded to a better team. Like I can see a team like maybe the Spurs trying to get him or something like that, which would be fun. But I really like Patrick Beverley. I really want to see a lineup with Milos and Patrick at the 1-2. I know that they played together overseas. I forget where they played, but Patrick Beverley's a huge fan of him, and he said when he was officially signed that he's the best passer in the world. And I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. LeBron might be slightly better, but he's pretty damn.
People.
Whoa. Ben Simmons has to be in this conversation.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Has to be in this conversation. Best vision in the NBA. Just saying.
I think Austin Rivers, like you guys said, is a guy that's underrated. He's a good defender. He's a good guy off the bench. I think he starts though for them. I don't really know who else would start at the 2 for them.
It feels weird calling him underrated because usually when it comes to like a guy that's underrated, it means that they're pretty dang good and people just don't realize it. And like, I don't know if I would even quite call him average.
But people think they're the worst player in the league, though.
But yeah, people still think. I mean, like he did get paid by his dad. That's that's indisputable. But yeah, I agree.
And then I mean, even after Beverly and Milos and Austin Rivers, I was a big fan of Juwan Evans in the draft process. Clayton knows that. I love Juwan Evans. I like the pickup of Sindarius Thornwell as well. I really like the moves they made. I don't think they should have gave Blake that contract. I know why they did. I mean, obviously they're in Los Angeles. They don't want to be this really, really crappy team again like they were back in the Lakers, the really good days of the Lakers. I get it, but I just think that they should have just moved on, tanked completely, and gone for the big guys in the next 2 drafts, just gone for those type of guys to just really restart their franchise. But
I don't know if they could actually do that. Not this year, but the next year. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I get what you're saying, Rich, but yeah, this is the Clippers. Like they need to have someone because they are not getting free agents. The free agents are coming to the Lakers if they're coming to LA. So I just think
2019 draft pick, so they could only take for 1 year essentially.
Yeah.
It's first round or it's lotto protected, but like, so I guess they would be fine with that. But yeah.
Hashtag shout out to Doc Rivers for being.
Oh my God, the worst GM! I swear to God.
He traded that to Boston for, was it
Pierce?
Jeff Green?
I think Jeff Green was on like the Grizzlies or something when he did that.
On the Grizzlies, but like that's maybe the Grizzlies traded that to Memphis. Yeah, right there it says via Memphis.
Yeah. I think if Blake is healthy and he plays like I know he could play, I can see him as a top 5 team in the West. But if Blake misses time, which he which I've heard, then there'll be a lottery team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Last but not least, the NBA champions and the obvious top seed in the Pacific Division. We've got the Golden State Warriors, who
they might be
only got better. Obviously, they got Steph, they got Durant, kept Iggy, kept Livingston. They pretty much brought the entire gang back. Did anyone leave that I can't remember?
Ian Clark.
Yeah, Ian Clark. But they didn't even bother. They didn't even bother to really bring him back.
They're really high on Pat McCaw from what I hear. So
yeah, but they had former Laker Nick Young. I'm not going to call him great. Whatever. They added not on the 15 man, but like as a camp invite, Georges Niang.
Jordan Bell.
Their draft of Jordan Bell. Like, Chicago, what are you doing? You're doing a rebuild wrong. Like,
I can't.
Chicago's drunk.
They really let Draymond like go to the. They let
I still
Draymond-
can't believe they brought Matt Barnes back. Or it's not listed on there, but like I've seen him at the facility a lot, so maybe it's just a camp invite. I don't know.
Huh.
Man,
But
Chicago is really lucky that they have Chance the Rapper and Michael Jordan. Or else Chicago would just,
they, oh my word, they have like I said, a couple intriguing camp invites. They did bring in Omri Caspi, criminally underrated all the time. But they brought in Michael Benejet. I'm not a huge fan of, but others are. And people like Niang, I'm not a huge fan. There was another guy.
Boucher from Oregon.
Boucher. He just tore his ACL, so that would be like a 2-way contract type of guy.
Yeah.
But even though he's ancient for a rookie, he's already 24. He's got pretty good length.
Did they also get Dylan Ennis, or was that only summer league?
No, I think it was only summer league.
Oh, okay.
But I fully expect him to win the NBA championship again. And if you tell me that this whole nonsense with Durant and kind of, I don't want to call Nas out, but it kind of is. Like he pulled up right in front of LeBron James' face and nailed a 3. Like he had one of the best NBA finals ever. Like
That's so good.
Really, like if we're really thinking like that a Twitter nonsense is really going to affect him, then oh man. Like I mean, he left Golden State last year and took on a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I think he's fine.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steph Curry. Huge monster contract.
Oh yeah, but 100, all of that was deserved even more. I mean,
is he the highest paid player in the NBA now? It's $34.3 million.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm gonna look up. I can't remember exactly the full contract, but merge you first, and then we'll end with Nelson.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna be. This is the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of the Lakers going all in on getting stars, because I think the Warriors are just going to be this good for the next 3-4 years. I mean, Steph isn't even 30 yet. KD is
5 years, $201 million. Holy crap!
Right.
I forgot it broke 200. I forgot.
Oh man, I mean, all of their best players have not broke 30 yet. Yep. Which is insane. I mean, Draymond Green, one of my favorite players in the league, top 10 player to me. I mean, defensive player of the year, best power forward, the second best power forward in the game after AD. I mean, it's just ridiculous how good their team is. And then now they got better. This might be the best team ever. I'm not sure. They're so good, and I really want to see Steph against Isaiah Thomas in the finals, just so he can put up like 40 a game.
Oh man!
So, but I think if they play the Cavs, they'll go to 5. If they play the Celtics, they'll go to like 4 or 5. I mean,
if they play the Celtics, I'm going to call it now. They're going to sweep the Celtics.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think they're
people are really high on the Celtics, and yeah, they would get swept. Like I mean, they got swept against the Cavs last year, and yeah. They obviously added Hayward, and they essentially switched out
IT for Kyrie.
Hayward. They essentially switched out Hayward and Kyrie for IT and Jay Crowder, if you think about it. But yeah, they would, in my opinion, they'd be swept. And then I don't even think it would really be close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the Warriors are the reason why all these teams are getting stars. I mean, it's why the Thunder got Paul George. It's why, to a lesser extent, why the Nuggets got Paul Millsap. It's why the Rockets got Chris Paul. I mean, all these teams are just trying to beat the Warriors, and I don't even think it's going to be enough. I'd much rather be in a position like the Bucks are with a 22-year-old Giannis than be, maybe even the Rockets. I mean, I just think teams. I think the Warriors are just so good that teams just need to kind of give up if they're not close to contending.
But Lakers are going to get 2 stars next year.
Hey, LeBron and Paul George and Russell Westbrook. They're getting three.
I did have a long conversation about that. I would not turn down LeBron.
Yeah.
That said, like, because of how good the Warriors are, I wouldn't have a problem just continuing to collect. I mean, we don't have. That's why I would trade Brook at the deadline.
Yeah.
So then you can try and get an actual first round draft pick, and maybe look to deal Randall for a young player and a pick if you can somehow get that. I don't know if you can actually do it, but
yeah.
All right. Don't want to spend too terribly long on this, especially since our boy Nelson has to do homework. Shout out to his calculus teacher. Or is it AP calculus? I don't want to shortchange you.
AP calculus.
AP calculus. Shout out to Nelson's AP calculus teacher. Nelson, Golden State Warriors, go.
They're going to win the championship. That's it.
There we go.
Done.
I will bet my life that the Warriors win it. Unless barring injury, there's no way. There's no way they do not win the championship.
Honestly,
I'm sorry.
I think
Cleveland got a lot worse.
I think even without one of Steph or KD, they can still be a championship contender. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, KD's gonna be with the Warriors for one more year. And say what you want. There are still road bumps, even when you plug in the best player in the world into like this awesome system. There's still gonna be hiccups, and this year there's gonna be no hiccups. It's gonna be starting off right where they left off. KD's gonna be hitting threes over everyone's face, and then in the championship, Steph Curry's gonna kill Isaiah Thomas, and that's probably it.
I guess my only real question is if the NBA actually approves the no resting thing. Do they challenge for 73 wins?
I think they could.
Last year.
I think either that or they give their bench more minutes and they just play their guys.
Yeah. I mean, like, I do expect Looney to take a step forward. I think Damian Jones will get some time. Maybe did I say Looney or did I say McCall earlier?
No, you said Looney.
I meant McCall. I think McCall is going to take a step. Kevon Looney, I think he'll get more minutes. He kind of has to show it because he hasn't been very good. But I think you could actually see like a lineup by Kerr just like screw it of Damian Jones, Jordan Bell, Nick Young,
Pat McCaw,
and who's their backup point guard?
Livingston.
I guess we'll go with that.
Man,
I mean, you could see something like that. I mean, I don't.
They're so good.
Yeah. So, does that finish it up for you guys?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, as we said, we left our friends over at Lakers Pulse. We're by ourselves now on Under the Bus. When we start writing, you can catch us at Laconic Lamonic. Did you guys want to add anything real quick?
No, I'm just excited for the season to start.
I just want to say that for all the boxing fans, that Triple G won the fight against.
I still can't believe that like haymaker or whatever you want to call it that Canelo hit.
Oh God!
And he's like,
oh no, big deal.
Yeah, it's fine.
That dude's a fucking Terminator. I swear to God.
Yeah. All right, I think that'll end it for us. I feel like I'm leaving something out though.
No, I think we're just waiting to get more Lakers stuff to talk about, pretty much. Yeah.
We're adjusting the SoundCloud since I paid for it. You can catch us on SoundCloud at our old SoundCloud. It's going to be on there. As I said, new Under the Bus podcast. Shout out to Master Red Snappa for the great logo.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be it.
Yep.
All right. Later, fellas.
See ya.
See ya.